Hi, this is Uriah Duffy. I'm here in Denmark. I got my bass with me. I'm a bass player, freelance artist. I grew up in New England, in Rhode Island to be specific, and there was a lot of classic rock there. So I grew up listening to classic rock, but I quickly got bored of that and started to learn other styles. I got into jazz, got into fusion, and then moved to Oakland, California, where funk bass kind of took over my life. Funk, R&B, soul, kind of a more soulful music, which I found the bass had more of a home in. A lot of the riffs were more bass oriented as opposed to guitar oriented. So my background is growing up with those styles of music. I've been going to the NAMM show since way back, probably a good 15 years. And I've never been to Music Messe. Music Messe is a huge trade show in Germany. It makes NAMM look like a convenience store. It's really much larger. And that's when a good friend of mine, guitarist Doug Aldrich, brought me to TC Electronics. They were making bass gear that year, 2009 I believe it was. So when I checked out the bass gear, I immediately fell in love with it. This amp has three main features that are different from other heads that I do like to use. The tube tone is something that I balked at first. I really wasn't going to be into it. A tube emulator, it's software. Until I tried it, and I was actually on a recording session playing an indie rock type album, and they wanted a P bass. I brought a P bass, but I needed a little more grit in the sound. But I just tried it, and I turned the tube tone up a little bit, and I was able to get a more vintagey, a warmer, compressed sound. So yeah, so I'm sold on the tube tone, and I'm glad that I can turn it off on as much as I need. Compression, I'm not a big compression guy, but I will use a little bit just to season it up and even things out. But the tweeter tone is really what I loved. When this came out with the tweeter tone, it was a way that, you know, a lot of the playing that involves all that fret noise and all this kind of, you can get all those sounds from the tweeter that you can control right on the front of the amp. So yes, I use that feature a lot. I use the built-in tuner every time I play. In fact, I used to never bring a tuner with me. I'd always just tune to the guitar or the piano. But now I'm sure my playing sounds much better because of the built-in tuner. But I think the biggest noticeable thing is that it's a much smaller thing to carry. Historically, I've had to carry a much larger amp to get the same amount of output. I can drive a couple speaker cabinets with this. I can travel with it on the plane very easily. It's very light. So in that way, yes, it's changed the way I play. It changed the way I load into gigs. I can usually just put that and a bass and walk in, rather than have to take multiple trips. I can do it all in one. The future is hopefully more work playing bass for artists. I like musical directing, which is great, and I've been doing some of that lately. Zap Mama was recently in town in San Francisco. I got to musically direct for her. As for like fun, as for what I want to do with my own life, as opposed to someone else's career, is put out an album. There's a lot of great resources and musicians and studios and just great people I've met over the years. And I would really like to work with every one of them. So hopefully I'll be able to put that out within the next year or so and have an album that's as schizophrenic as all the styles I like to play.
Thank you, Uriah.
You're welcome, man. Good to see you.